بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله الأمين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Say sallallahu alayhi wasallam, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. I know that everyone this week they had some problems with the dependent and independent clauses. That's why I have recorded this video. You can watch it over and over again, and you can try to absorb the information again. So we're going to start. Okay, please do pay attention to teacher, please. Okay, full screen, please. So dependent and dependent clauses. First of all, we have said that we're going to define what is a clause, and this is so easy and so important. A clause is simply a subject plus a verb. If I only have a subject, it's not a clause. If I only have a verb, it's not a clause. Some people are going to say, teacher, first of all, please define a subject and define a verb. A subject is a person or an animal or something that the sentence is about. Okay? It's always the doer of the verb or what is it about. Okay? And usually we have the personal pronouns. They are always a subject. I, he, she, it, you, we. And they are always a subject. Bob, the rabbit, let me say, if I say even the table, okay, the table is round. The table here is the subject of the sentence because the sentence is about the table, and is the verb. The verb is usually the action in the sentence. So we have said, if I have a subject by itself, it's not a clause. If I have a verb by itself, it's not a clause. If I have a subject plus verb, it's going to be a clause. Let's take an example. I is a subject. Play is a verb. I by itself is not a clause. Play by itself is not a clause. However, I plus play, which gives I play, that's a clause. Okay? In English, we have two types of clauses. We have the dependent clause and the independent. I'm sorry, I don't have enough space. And the independent clause. I like to call the dependent clause the slave clause because it's always, as we have said, it's a slave of another clause, of another sentence to be understood. However, the independent clause is the free clause. Clear? Because it can be understood by itself. It's a free clause. It's not related, or it does not depend on another clause to be understood. However, the dependent and independent clauses, they both have subjects and verbs. Let's carry on. Types of clauses. The independent clause, the free one. I repeat, she's free. When I read the sentence, I'm going to find the subject and the verb, and I'm going to understand the sentence. It's understood. Okay? So, the baby is the subject. Slept is the verb. Okay? I have a subject and a verb, so this is a clause. I have to decide whether it is a dependent clause or an independent clause. It has a meaning, it's meaningful, so it's an independent clause. An independent clause is a meaningful clause. It's a complete sentence of a subject and a verb. Of course, we have to have a subject and a verb to have a clause. And can stand alone, important, can stand alone to give a meaningful sentence. So, if it is meaningful, then it's an independent clause. Let's carry on. The second one is the dependent clause, the slave clause. And we call it a slave clause because it depends on another clause to be understood. It's an incomplete sentence, but it has a subject and a verb to be called a clause. Of a subject and a verb, of course, but can't stand alone to give a meaningful sentence. So a dependent clause is a meaningless sentence. It's a meaningless sentence. It does not have a meaning. Okay? When we add the suffix less to a word to say it doesn't have it. Okay? However, when we add the suffix full, it means it has it. So sorry. It has it. Okay? When I say meaningful, it means it has a meaning. And when I say meaningless, it means it doesn't have any meaning. It depends on another clause to complete the meaning of the sentence. While the rain is subject, fell is the verb, simple past of to fall. Okay, so while the rain fell, okay, what happened while the rain fell? I can't understand. There is something else. It depends on something else to be understood. So this is a dependent clause because it depends on another clause to be understood. Now, I gave you some hints. Okay, I said we call the dependent clause, we call it a subordinate clause too, because whenever we have a subordinating clause, which is, for example, because, after, when, before, if, as, although, as soon as, while, which, that, etc. But I want you to learn those ones. Those ones are enough for grade 5 and grade 6, okay, to be learned. Okay, whenever you have a clause that starts with because, after, when, before, if, as, although, as soon as, while, which, that, it's a dependent clause. And I'm going to give you an example. The same example I have given during the session for those who were absent, for example. I punished the boy. I punished the boy. I, subject, punished, verb. So this is a clause. When I say I punished the boy, is it understood? Yes, it is. I can understand that I was the one responsible for punishing the boy. Look at the second one, which starts with a comma and because, which is a subordinating clause, because he was impolite. Now, if I take because he was impolite by itself, can you understand anything? Because he was impolite. Because he, who was impolite? And what happened to him because he was impolite? So that's why this is a dependent clause. It's not an independent one. It cannot stand by itself. The last thing in this video, whenever you have a sentence like this one, which contains a dependent clause and an independent clause, we call it a complex sentence. A complex sentence. If you have any question, please do send it to Teacher Malik on Classera or on WhatsApp. Thank you so much. Goodbye.